The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
It's gotten a lot of attention out of a new poll that says the majority of Republican primary voters are now birthers. This is according to the new public policy survey. Only 28% of people who say they're going to be voting in the primary that were asked in this poll believe that Barack Obama was born in the United States. 51% don't, and 21% say they're not sure. So you basically have a combined 72% of people who don't strongly believe the president was born in the United States. What is your reaction?
Well, I have a hard time believing that poll. I think that most people understand and accept the reality. And the reality is that, yes, he was born in the United States.
Somebody like Barack Obama, a Kenyan, a black man, a man of great statesmanship who they believe could change the fate of the world.
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya.
So I hope that that's not an issue going forward.
The alarming part, I guess, I mean, you can say you don't believe this poll, but they've asked people this ever since this quote-unquote birther movement started getting more attention, and it's actually grown. The number of people who don't believe the president was born in the United States among a certain segment of the population has grown. Why do you think that, there is not enough, I guess, pushback from elected members and from our politicians to say that this simply isn't true? Do you think that for some people, fanning the flames of this is actually politically helpful?
Oh, it's not. And if you want pushback, I'll give it right now. Barack Obama is a citizen of the country. We ought to get off this kick. And there are plenty of differences we have. With the president, between Republicans and Democrats, than to spend time on something like this.
Well, great to talk to you this morning. I thank you for your time. Congressman Jeff Flake from Arizona, member of the Appropriations Committee. I know you guys have a lot of work ahead of you as well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, bud.
Now the governor of Abercrombie, the newly elected Democratic governor who grew up and lived with Obama's parents and knew him when he was growing up as a kid, believes it's time to end this nonsense. So let me ask you, gentlemen, why don't, and I am not a birther, I am an enemy of the birthers, this is an actual birth certificate, a long-form certificate of live birth in the state of Hawaii. This, on the other hand, is what they release generally to the public, a thinner form. I'm not sure if it has less information, but it's digital, of course. Doesn't have signatures on it. And to the birthers is evidence he really ain't one of us. Clarence, is this going to help if we get more documentation? And second question, why has the president himself not demanded that they put out the initial documents? Some of us have in our possession at home somewhere, I have one in the office here, an actual copy of one of these birth certificates as described here. It has a picture of Nazareth Hospital in Northeast Philly and Roosevelt Boulevard. It has the name of Dr. Aladdin, I believe we knew him. And it's got witnesses and my parents' names, all sort of old school, written out in handwriting with ink and everything on it. It looks like an old document. But if you, like the letters of transit in Casablanca. Exactly. Now you have the new kind, which is this digital thing printed out. Right. The president has produced this new kind. It's been fine for him. Newfangled. But it's not fine for the... There it is. That's what he has. Right, right. Well, he doesn't have the other kind, apparently.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.